Kaspar, we promised our viewers last week that we're going to look back at 2022. If you promise something, you have to live up to that. So we're going to look back.
Yes, and we're not going to talk about the things that probably everybody knows, hopefully. So we have some interesting facts over things that happened. No?
Yeah, exactly. Mainly on the first part is about stocks, I think, individual stocks.
Yes.
That caught our attention. And the second part is about more macroeconomical stuff and inside what happened with companies.
And some business information.
Exactly. And then hopefully people can take some conclusions from that.
Yeah, and we would like to start with the Russell 1000.
Yes, the Russell 1000.
Because in the US, it's a really important index now.
Absolutely,
And in Europe, we only talk about the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq and the Dow Jones.
Yeah, the Russell mainly contains blue chip stocks, and blue chip is the same as large cap.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to tell you, but for you people that look at us, it's large
they
cap.
also know.
It's the same. So what were the biggest risers, and what can we say? I mean, it was mainly oil. No?
Oil and gas.
Oil and gas. The biggest riser was, in this case,
Occidental Petroleum.
Yeah, Occidental Petroleum.
And that rose 140%.
Yeah.
And what was number 2?
Constellation Energy Corp. And number 3 was, let me continue, Antero Resources Corporations.
So all in the same area.
Yeah, all about above 110% of
and
profit.
One of our friends also has a big stake in Occidental
Petroleum. At Christmas, how was he?
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett.
He has a big position in Occidental Petroleum.
Yeah, and he increased the position this year even.
So yeah, that was my question. So he had it already before the war in the Ukraine started.
I think so.
But he increased it, no?
Yeah. Don't ask me exactly how much and this and that, but I know that he bought additional stock.
Yeah.
So he did a good one on that. He did not do everything well, or at least that depends how long you look at it, because he had also stocks that were in line with the market. So for instance, MasterCard went down 16% this year. Procter & Gamble, which I think is funny because you would say that is a stock that is quite immune to inflation and interest rate hikes and stuff, but they have been really under pressure.
Yeah, and if you look at similar companies in Europe, they have
sort of like done
better
okay,
results.
But also not. In the Netherlands, we have Ahold.
Yeah.
But if you look in Germany, for example, Henkel.
Unilever.
Unilever did also quite well. But if you look in Fresenius and Henkel, for instance, in Germany, they have done really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. So it depends. Also, Amazon did not do very well, of course. Paramount Global, that was one of the last acquisitions, went down 40%.
I looked today with a client at the forecast for next year. And then
Warren Buffett.
No, about Amazon, about the profit per share, and they really expect really low profit per share. So it's now trading at 89. So still, if it's a profit share from $1 something, it's also still 40 something price earnings. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, but it's funny that you say it because I mean I saw an interview with Jeff Bezos yesterday. I think it was on CNBC or on legal part of the interview.
You're going to say
that he was saying that you have to save money and that he thinks it's really bad times.
Yeah.
He was really
about his own stock also, no?
Yeah, and I didn't see the entire interview, but that caught my attention. It's okay. Also, for if you're planning to do something risky, maybe wait a little bit because he thinks really bad things can happen next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, I said also to you this morning, in the El Economista, in the Spanish newspaper, it says that the financial institutions, that the amount of problematic loans has increased already to 300%.
From?
Yeah, from like normally like 50%.
Wow.
That hasn't. Sorry, what I'm saying now, it was normally about 50 billion, and now it's around approximately 300 billion. So it went up quite substantially. If you want to compare to 2008, because that was also then it went up from the normalized levels 800%. So we're still not in the same scenario of the amount of problematic loans, but from 50 to 250. It doesn't look very bright if you...
That's the outlook.
That's the outlook we'll talk about next week.
And Russell 1000, the worst performers?
Yeah, A-Firm Holdings, AppLovin Corp. You know AppLovin Corp?
Yeah,
they make apps. And Coinbase, was in there as well, down 83%.
The first one you mentioned? The biggest loser?
A-Firm Holding, yeah.
Yeah, and I saw they were in the news yesterday because they have some lawsuits against them. And I saw a law firm, they were making an advertisement. So if you have problems if you experience problems with them, with one of the things, they have three items that they are accused of, and one of them is that they have a service where you buy now, pay later, and they did it in such an aggressive way. But that's what the opinion is. So people have, especially in the US, have even more debt than you should have with those products. So this company is in big how do you say it?
Trouble, yeah.
Trouble, yeah. I was
definitely.
But and they are down in the 80%, no 87% or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you look at the world, if you make
worldwide,
we go a little bit wider.
Yeah, worldwide. If you look in Belgium, for instance, you had Oxurian NV, which is this is this typical example of a biotech company that had maybe something, which didn't turn out to be something.
You are talking about the worst, no?
The worst, losers. Yeah, they went down. You can never go down more than 100%, but they went down 99. Another one was Tricida Incorporated, Carvana company, also down 99%. In more known ones, Novavax is in here as well. You know that why that is. Coinbase.
And the winners?
The winners?
The winners of the world.
Yeah, it was Thungela Resources. Thungela, that is then
South Africa.
South Africa, yeah.
Coal mining.
Occidental Petroleum, of course, we talked already about.
Yeah, they're number 4, no?
Yeah, they're fourth, yeah.
Yeah, so the first of the Russell and then the fourth of the world.
You see a lot of these oil and energy companies coming back. First Solar Incorporation, also quite high in the rankings. BAE Systems, also in the rankings.
But that's interesting. And so we have high rankers of gas, oil, petroleum, also solar and coal.
Yeah, it's a big mixer. So energy is absolutely
energy
needed.
was the thing.
But
you see it also on different
Yeah,
scales.
absolutely. And what I found interesting myself, I didn't realize that, for instance, IBM was up 11% this year.
Okay.
It's I think almost IBM. It's like so old-fashioned because the first computer I ever saw was old-fashioned.
Yeah, and if you do it tech, if you think about US tech,
exactly.
If you want to place IBM somewhere, you place it in the high-tech sector.
Yeah, but they have been doing where Snowflake of Buffett did not so well with the cloud. They have managed to make it pretty good.
I think we discussed it a couple of years ago. Then they started it with the cloud, and so they are succeeding in that one because they're coming from far. They were late with the cloud services.
I think they are sort of like very focused. They're from the old school.
Focused on the good things.
Yeah,
but on the cloud, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Other large companies went down. Of course, Facebook. We touched on it. And I found a funny one was the Silicon Valley Bank down almost 70% because of the amount of bad loans. Bad loans. They gave out loans to startups. They don't make it. Then obviously you have a problem.
Yeah, but also Snap. So the owner of Snapchat, it's down like I don't know out of my head completely, but almost 90% in the 80%. It's incredible.
It's insane. Yeah, it's insane.
So we talk about the people.
CEO, yeah. The best CEO of the 2022, I don't know, maybe you? No, the worst CEO of 2022, that was, in this case, David Zaslav. You know him? He's the CEO of Paramount, Warner Bros., to say so. He did very well in 2021 for himself. I found the amount of money that he made, or that he earned, extremely high, but this is from Yahoo Finance. So
how much is it?
246.6 million in 2021.
So you own on a yearly basis $246 million.
You earn that, yeah.
Yeah, you are the worst CEO.
yeah. Well, he said, I don't care, I will take it, yeah.
Shit.
And this.
And who decides on that?
That is the 24/7 Wall Street.
Okay.
He was in a neck-on-neck race with Mark Zuckerberg from Meta Platforms. Yeah, he did why he is the worst CEO is basically because he is blamed that he did a lot of strategic blunders in the sense of going for another online streaming library where there's already a massive competition. He's starting to fire people that are really needed from departments that you absolutely require.
And Elon Musk was not nominated?
No, he was not. No, he was not.
But he's also not doing... So he's not the CEO of Tesla.
He's not anymore, no?
So he can't be nominated for that.
Yeah. Today was up again, Tesla, by the way. It's fun.
Yeah.
Whatever was down, it went up again. Yeah, so Mr. Zaslav, Happy New Year, but you didn't do very well this year. Then scandals.
Yeah.
Scandals, of course, companies that had the most scandals, that were the most in the news. I have 3 for the viewers. Credit Suisse.
You talked about it a couple of months ago.
Yeah. Shares were down 55% lower since the start of the year. Many things going around with fraud, money laundering, corporate spying. We saw a massive outflow from the capital from the asset management part. Yeah. Trust is really important in that sector, and they didn't do very well. It's going to take a lot of time for them to recover that trust, I think. Ericsson, the Sweden-based telecom company, I didn't know they were still existing, but they still exist. And what they are having troubles with, why they're in a scandal situation, is because they made payments, it says here, lease payments or received payments to the terror group ISIS in Iraq between 2011 and 2019.
Probably they sold phones to them, and that was forbidden at that time. I think probably.
Probably. And the problem is that now lawsuits have been filed by the families of U.S. military and civilian victims of ISIS.
Not a good sign.
So not a good thing. And lastly, staying also a little bit with the veterans of the war, over 230,000 veterans have been using earplugs from 3M, and that was to protect their ears, but it didn't work. So these people have now ear problems.
It's like with the Philips case.
Yeah, and the total liabilities that is above them is 33 billion, which is a lot of money.
How's 3M doing, you know?
Yeah, not good. The bulls on the stock say that it's already priced in, but 33 billion is going to hurt them a lot. And the cases keep running on for a long time already. So there's a lot of costs, a lot of negativity going on.
Some positive news. We found 5 companies, and I think we found them. I don't know where we were looking. It were 5 companies of the S&P 500 of the Russell 1000. Do you remember it?
I think from the S&P.
Yeah, there were 5 companies with have a board with more than 40% of women, and also at least one woman in the board, in the chair.
Sorry, those were S&P companies.
S&P 500 companies. And it were General Motors, Citigroup, Procter & Gamble, Nielsen and Merck. So that's quite some positive ranking from between 43 and 58% women in the board. Not a lot.
No. But I mean, General Motors is quite funny, because you're a car company.
Yeah, but I think it's still not a lot.
No, it's not.
Indices?
Yeah.
Because there were some remarkable results of indices, no?
Yeah.
In general, markets are down this year, but in Europe there are 3 markets up.
Yeah, especially on our continent. Yeah, we had the Portuguese market was up about 2.7%.
It's amazing.
Norway.
Why?
I think because of the energy, because of Galp.
Yeah, it's a small index.
Yeah, small
and
index.
That weighs a lot. Yeah.
Relatively high weight, and the company pays out a lot of dividend and etc. So Norway 1.8% up, and the London FTSE 100.
Yeah, that's a remarkable thing. Yeah, it's almost flat, a little bit up. Maybe it's down today. I don't know, but it's remarkable. I think that we have some problems in Europe, and the UK has at least the same problems.
Yeah, they say positive, Kaspar.
Yeah, wow, it's amazing, no?
Yeah, it's
bizarre.
Amazing. I can't explain it to you.
No.
Looking at not the risers, but the
losers.
The losers. Sorry. The losers, the Nasdaq 34%.
1/3 of.
Yeah, 1/3 of the price. Dow Jones on itself about 9.5%. We look at the S&P 20% down. So all in all, Germany, bigger index, about 12% down. So all in all, between let's say 10 and 25% down.
Yeah. So it was not a good.
Very difficult. Really index-related investment managers, they should be really struggling because.
I think if we have a look at interest rates and inflation, because it was also the year of interest rates and inflation.
Absolutely.
And then also some remarkable, if you look at the whole world, some remarkable figures. I think if you look at interest rates, there is one country, maybe there's a small one somewhere, but there's only one country in the world. I think last year there were a lot. There's still one with negative interest, and that's Japan. It's a little bit, but still negative interest. Yeah. And Japan, of course, is quite stable, or as unstable. You could say it is stable, but it stays the same.
Yeah.
And they also expect this year and next year not high inflation, interest rates going up a little bit, but it's still almost zero. And Bulgaria also, they have an interest rates of zero. They it's a strange situation, but also zero.
It's Europe.
Yeah.
It's strange. Yeah.
And then you have our friends from Argentina. We didn't win the World Cup because the Netherlands lost with penalties from Argentina.
Yeah.
And that's good for them.
But the only thing that's good in that country.
No.
I'm just kidding.
No, but not good for them is that you have interest rates of 44%.
It's not good thing.
It's not a good sign, of course. And if you look at the worst, that's Zimbabwe, and they have an interest rate of 80%. So
I think that 44.5 is still below the inflation. Eh?
Yes, I think so. And Zimbabwe, so the one with the biggest interest rates in the world, 80%.
Yeah.
If we then go make the jump to inflation, because as we all know, it's strongly related to each other. So you think in Zimbabwe at the end of the year you receive 80% of interest. Wow, that's happy. But with an inflation of 626%, it's still nothing. And is then Zimbabwe the country with the highest inflation? No, and I think that's for years. That's Venezuela, and then I have to check because it's a quite high figure. It's 9,586% of inflation. And of course that's a figure, but all the important things are paid and sold in dollars.
True. Yeah.
But it's and then it's the lowest. The lowest inflation is in Eritrea. They have -20%, so they have a deflation of -27%, and it's mainly due because they increased the taxes and the government is not spending anything anymore.
No, exactly. What I saw, by the way, is that in countries like Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, they have really low interest rates as well. I think it's more in Asia. They follow more the Japanese model.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. So I think a lot of data, a lot of interesting things. Because
I think we brought it quite light, but it's also because it's just a little overview, conclusions. I think that's the.
Yeah, I think if you listen to this, I think everybody makes the same conclusion, draw the same conclusion. It was a difficult year, of course, mainly due to the war in the Ukraine, and directly related to that, energy prices. Of coal minings, solar, but especially, of course, gas and oil.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you see the companies, so we're living in a world that we need to focus more to green energy, but this is a hit in our face because this year we had to go back even more to oil and gas. And also the year of inflation and interest rates, of course, increasing interest rates.
And that's bonds, also, we didn't talk about bonds today, but bonds are back in business.
Yeah.
Sort of like.
Yeah. So I think a difficult year. For yourself and other people are always want to benchmark their results against a certain benchmark. Also there you see big differences. Some, even in Europe, there are slightly up.
Yeah.
And of course the Nasdaq 1/3 off, so really bad year. And the dollar now trading at 1.6. So it's the euro is getting a little bit stronger. So difficult year. I hope you made a positive profit. If you didn't make a positive profit, it's not that strange because big markets lost a lot and difficult, and a lot of those macro influences you can't
manipulate. You can't do it. No, you can't do anything. You have to cope with it.
Yeah. So that was looking back. I hope
next week.
Yeah, and next week we're going to look forward to 2023.
Exactly.
So thank you for watching. Have a great New Year's evening.
Yes, and a fantastic start.
Thank you.